I just said
Okay.
go live. Yeah, yes,
We're
we're
live
live, I
now.
believe.
Now we are.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the 532nd episode of Travel It Radio. I'm your host, Dan Schlossberg, along with Roger Noriega, our illustrious producer. And we're in the 13th season of Travel It Radio, the show that lets you enjoy the pleasures of travel from the comfort of your armchair.
Every week at this time, we talk to people representing destinations, hotels, airlines, railroads, car rental companies, and others in the world of travel and hospitality, from authors and bloggers to broadcasters and publicists. If it's got anything to do with travel, it's got everything to do with Travel Edge Radio.
Our guest tonight is Jennifer Tripucka. Did I pronounce that correctly, Jennifer?
Tripucka, but close enough.
Tripucka, okay. Founder of the Local Girl Media Group in Northern New Jersey. Welcome, Jen, to Travel It Radio, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm glad you were able to come on. Although I live in Northern New Jersey, I must confess I had never heard of the Local Girl Media Group before. So please tell me what it is, where it is, and how and when it got started.
Absolutely. So the Local Girl Media Group is a hyper-local media network of websites that I started. They're all dedicated to their respective towns. We have the Hoboken Girl, the Montclair Girl, the Asbury Girl, the Catskills Girl, and the Bergen County Girl. It really started for me in Hoboken, New Jersey, about 12 years ago as the Hoboken Girl, started in 2012. And I really had moved here. My grandparents had textile factories in the Northern New Jersey area in North Bergen and Weehawken, but I had never lived in the area till I was working in Newark in education. So I decided to really start covering local experiences and really lifestyle topics that were relevant to moving here, and started to want to meet people. So it was really a fun passion side project while I was a school counselor in education. Fast forward a lot, and it's now grown into, as I shared, the Montclair Girl, the Asbury Girl, the Catskills Girl. We have a Bergen Girl coming, and we have over 4 million unique readers annually on our websites and almost 500,000 social media followers across our platforms. So we've grown a small team. We have freelance writers. It's been a really exciting journey. My background is in counseling psych, but I worked for a few years as an editor at Condé Nast. So I was able to bring that experience into the hyperlocal space. So it's been really fun, and it's a unique journey to where I am today, growing a team of locals who love their area just as much as I do.
All your sites have the word girl in them. Are you aiming at an all-female audience, or are you writing from a personal perspective?
So the site actually started as a personal journey when I had started to explore Hoboken and started writing about it, but it's really grown into a media company. It's by locals for everyone. We have a pretty 50-50 split audience, so it's for everyone.
You're on the show because your sites have lots of information for travelers. Please share.
Well, our sites are hyper local to the towns and counties that they're in. We really share everything from lifestyle topics, where to eat, where to have a cocktail, where to get pampered or play intramural sports, all the way to where to stay or go for a nice meal, or where to meet new friends, find a good hotel in the area. And all of our articles are really written as a media site, as any media site would be for tourism, except that our spin is that we're locals and we really know the area inside and out. We always go by, we're your best friend who knows everything about the area and we'll give it to you straight. There's just always something new to discover in any of our towns, whether you're new to the area, just visiting for the weekend, or have been there for 40 plus years.
How do you make money? Do you make money from ads on the sites?
We have partners and advertisers, yes, through our different, through the different sites.
Okay, Hoboken is only 1 mile square, but seems to be the center of your activity, or at least where you got started. What makes Hoboken so special? Is it Frank Sinatra's birthplace, baseball's birthplace, or something else?
Well, it's all of those things for sure. There are so many things that make Hoboken special. Frank Sinatra, birthplace of baseball, of course. It's also where they filmed On the Waterfront starring Marlon Brando. The Cake Boss, if you've heard of that hit show with Carlos, Buddy Valastro, Carlos Bakery, that is home in Hoboken. It's home to many factories, especially at the turn of the century. There was Wonderbread, Lipton Tea, Maxwell Coffee House. So lots of amazing history there. Stevens Tech is in Hoboken. fun little facts from some of our articles on HobokenGirl.com, but it was actually home to billionaire Hetty Green, who was the richest woman in the 1800s. Maxwell's, which is a music venue, it is no longer in play, but it is. It's now a beautiful restaurant called Serenetta, but that was a music venue that was one of the places, Bruce Springsteen first played. It's such an amazing place. Hoboken is just so filled with energy, small town vibes, but you're right next to Manhattan. It's one of the most walkable cities in America, and it actually has one of the most bars and restaurants per capita in the US. So it's really, really interesting that you can have all of that. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that it probably has the most Italian restaurants in a square mile anywhere in New Jersey.
We're talking with Hoboken girl Jennifer Tripucka.
We know Hoboken as a bustling transit terminus. There's an old and famous train station for New Jersey's transit. Streetcar lines originate there. The PATH tubes, which, of course, Port Authority, Trans-Hudson, have a big presence there. And there are even high-speed ferry connections across the Hudson to Manhattan on New York Waterway. Now that we've told people how to get to Hoboken, can you tell us what to do there?
So much to do. While New York City, like you said, is right next door, we really have the better views. Hoboken is where it's at. Our site actually has an article that is a bucket list of all the musts that you must do while you're in Hoboken or Jersey City. We have one for that as well. And we also have one for Hudson County as a whole. But a few highlights I would have to mention. Fiore's, which is over 100 years old. It's an old Italian deli famous for its roast beef mutts on Thursdays and Saturdays. There's so many places that you can go to eat. I mean, you take your pick, but if you're really looking for some Italian old school fun, you can go on a pizza crawl or a mutts crawl, trying all the different slices of pizza, or mutts, which is how North Jersey residents, what we call our mozzarella. But there's so much else to do. You can stroll the waterfront around Sinatra Park, rent city bikes, and bike the waterfront. We have a very long connected waterfront, which is really, really amazing. It goes from Jersey City all the way to Weehawken. You can go shopping along the avenue, as they call it, which is Washington Street. It is about 15 blocks, and it's all shops and restaurants. There's, of course, the Hoboken Historical Museum, which is an incredible place for learning the history of Hoboken, besides, and of course, celebrating Frank Sinatra, but also so much of the then and now and what was here, hundreds of years ago. There's so many things I can really just go on and on, but I'll name a few more. Monroe Center for the Arts, which is all of these unique businesses in Western Hoboken in an old factory building. And there's just lots to explore there. You could see a play at Mile Square Theater. And of course, many, many restaurants and bars to enjoy throughout your stay.
Thank you. And speaking a bit of history, Hoboken was the home of Wonderbread, Lipton Tea, Maxwell Coffee, and many other popular brands. So please tell our listeners, are your sites meant for locals living in the area for generations, or just for visiting on the weekend?
Our sites really are for everyone. We reach both fourth generation locals all the way to someone coming from Europe for the weekend. We've really gotten those types of emails, and they're coming for the weekend to New York City, but they wanted to explore New Jersey a little bit, and Hoboken and also Jersey City are really wonderful places to come to. You can stop in to Hoboken just for the day. You could stay for a few days, stay in Jersey City and just visit Hoboken, and all have amazing access to New York City if that's part of your trip as well. But yes, we're for everyone. We really have such a wide audience and love covering all different types of topics, which really speak to all of our different types of readers.
Are there advantages to staying in Hoboken if travelers have New York on their itineraries? We have to include Jersey City here too, since it's a short hop by car, but also right across the river. It's also the site of the Statue of Liberty. Yes, folks, the statue is in New Jersey.
Yes, the Statue of Liberty is in New Jersey. very fun fact there. But actually, in many cases, it's actually faster to live in Hoboken and commute to the city than actually live in New York City and commute to New York City, depending on where you want to go. If you're going to the west side of New York, you want to stay in Hoboken or Jersey City. That is a straight shot on the path. It's so easy to navigate. And we're actually also seeing a mass exodus of New York City residents who are moving to Hoboken and Jersey City from New York City because they want a little more space. They're really hearing all the fun things that there are to do in our area.
So what's the story with that white 800-foot, 80-foot statue right on the banks of the Hudson?
Oh, the statue that is by an artist, and it has been just there. It was being built for quite a long time, but it is just one of those really unique things that we have on the waterfront. There are so many things on the waterfront. We just had a Sinatra statue that went up, but that one had New York City people and Hoboken and Jersey City alike. Everyone was wondering, but she's saying shh. And it's up to you to interpret what that means. That's what we usually say. Maybe it's that we're the secret on this side of the waterfront.
That's good. I like that. Now, I understand Hoboken has hundreds of bars and restaurants. Any personal favorites or even out of the way, off the beaten path places you've discovered?
So many. I've lived here for over a decade myself, but a few personal favorites. Antique Bar and Bakery. This was a place that has a coal-fired oven. They opened in about 2017, and they have really just taken Hoboken by storm. They recently opened Antique 112, which is almost a diner style extension of their business, but they have the best bread pudding, and the bread is actually made, it was bread that used to be shipped to Frank Sinatra for his just his love of the bread in Hoboken. So they make the bread pudding out of that recipe, and it is incredible. I also love Anthony David's. It's a fan favorite. Dino and Harry's is a beautiful spot uptown. La Isla, the original location downtown, is wonderful. And of course, you have to mention Augustino's and Leo's. Those are two of the oldest or older restaurants in Hoboken, both Italian restaurants. Augustino's is very hard to get into, so you have to make sure you know somebody to get on the list.
I thank you. I like the variety of the names. That was really good. But if I may, I want to switch to sports real quick.
Sure.
Beyond the history of baseball, which dates back in Elysian Fields in 1846, don't many current athletes actually live in Hoboken?
Yes. Well, Hoboken was home to Eli Manning for many years. As we know, he lived here. He recently moved out of the area, but there are some Giants players that live here, including Daniel Jones, a lot of Devils players for the hockey fans, and for the Alex Earl fans, or we should say Miami Dolphins fans, Braxton Berrios actually opened a coffee shop in Jersey City for right in the middle of Hoboken and Jersey City. So there's a lot of pro athletes who live here and, you know, have their teams, but they make Hoboken, Weehawken, and Jersey City their home.
Thank you. Listeners, you're tuned to Travel Witch Radio now in our 13th season with Dan Schlossberg and Roger Noriega. Check us out on iTunes, LinkedIn, Instagram, or the Travel Witch Radio Facebook page, among other places. Right, Roger?
Yes, definitely. Twitch and a few others I'm unable to recall right now.
And we're talking with Hoboken girl Jennifer Tripucka. Jennifer, as a media publisher, what draws you to other areas? You're in Montclair, Asbury Park, even the Catskills now. So tell us about the different cultural activities in each area, indoor and outdoor activities, and various things to do.
Well, as a brand, publisher, we are always looking for places with a lot of experiential activities, things to do, and cultural centers. I personally have connections to all of these places. So that's how it really started. It was a genuine, authentic connection. I have grandparents who started businesses in Hudson County. I've been frequenting Asbury Park and the Jersey Shore for many years. I go up to the Catskills. My great grandparents and grandparents had a farm in Catskills. I worked in Bloomfield, New Jersey. So it's a little bit all personal to me, but I also know, when we talk about it as a team and when we're looking at our expansion, we're always looking for those experiential things to do, places that people view not only as a place to live, but also a destination. And of course, they have to have a lot of places to eat, dine out, have fun. Places that always have events and things constantly happening is really our beat, where you can have a lot of experiential fun.
How do you pick the places you publicize, and how big is your staff?
So we really editorially pick most of the places that we cover. Our staff was a slow build. We started in Hoboken. It was just me doing everything, but now we have a team of 4 full-timers and about 25 freelancers who are all stationed in different areas, who write about the area that they live in respectively. They all have different beats, so they pitch to us on a monthly basis, and we're also, as a small team, keeping our ear to the ground and really listening and looking at what is happening and wanting to be all ready to go with the latest, all of that. We cover pretty much everything from the latest opening to the latest closing to, what celebrities opening a new business in the area. I mean, it really just varies depending on the week, but never a dull moment here.
Your brand toes the line between influencer and media site. What's the secret?
I think that's a crucial part of our brand. We're really not just one person. We're a team of locals that all have different experiences and beats and interests. So we do the influencer thing, as one would call it, but we're also journalists that really write articles that are about living locally. And so people feel connected to that because they're also living locally or wanting to explore locally. So it's a great marriage of the two.
And you even help others with building content on social media sites, but aren't you worried about creating competition for your main business?
So before I worked in media, I was a school counselor and I have a master's in education. So it's really in my blood to teach. I love learning. I love teaching. We've had dozens of students in our local girl media group programs, all which really center around growing your social media brand into a real media brand. So we've had students internationally in California, Colorado, Buffalo, New York, Florida, Mississippi, and then as close as Morristown, New Jersey, and other parts of northern New Jersey. So no, I love teaching, and it's so fun to see people thrive.
You just launched the Asbury Girl. Are there particular events coming up you want to spotlight?
Well, Asbury Park in the Jersey Shore in the winter is actually a really awesome place. And what's cool about all of our brands in the Local Girl Media Group is that we have new events calendars that have self-service. So basically anyone can come to our website, submit any event they have happening at the Jersey Shore or anywhere, and then they can have it be on our regular site. So you just go to, for example, the asburygirl.com/events, and then you can add it yourself, upload your photo, and we share weekly articles on all the things to do from the calendar to our audiences. So it's really, really great for everything. So no specific event, but there are so many amazing things that you can discover if you just go to our website and even promote your own where you can upload it to our calendar.
We're talking with Hoboken girl Jennifer Tripucka.
Does the local girl ever travel outside of her zone, such as across the country, on a cruise, or even overseas? Do you have any plans to establish the local girl outside of New Jersey?
Well, I think you're asking about my travel habits, but I would say I'm a New Jersey born and bred gal, but the local girl as a brand has lots of plans. We recently launched, as I mentioned, the Catskills, Bergen County, have a few other feelers out. Personally, I love to travel. I am a big travel junkie with my husband. We go all over the place. Depends on the year.
Fair enough. You like going all over the place. So when you travel, duh, where do you like to go? What do you like to do, and how often can you get away?
Yeah, since we love to travel, we try to get away twice a year for a big trip. Little trips interspaced in there. I would say it's really one of my favorite things to do. Just this past year, we went to Panama City in Panama, Costa Rica, and then a trip to Copenhagen, London, and Amsterdam. Lake Placid is another favorite. And then we're big on the Catskills. We love going up there. But I will say I really do love to explore locally. I mean, that's why we live where we live. Just being in the New Jersey area, there is so much to do. You really don't have to go far to have an amazing time.
I heard the Catskills. I get that. But what are some of your other favorite places?
Well, I've lived in Italy and France when I was younger. I've lived in DC, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I really do love Hoboken, exploring in my own city. I would say really New Jersey, Catskills, but if we're going Europe, Italy, Portugal is an amazing place. We're hoping to go to Madeira this year, and really anywhere we can go and bring our dogs. So local road trips are always fun too.
That's cool. 2 questions here. Are you the primary writer for your site? And do you do videos perhaps for outlets like YouTube, which is now carrying this episode of Travel Itch Radio?
Well, I once did everything on this,
Wow.
on our sites. I did truly everything that people would have seen. Now as the publisher, I'm more the CEO, editor-in-chief. I have a team of freelance writers and our core team of editors who are all amazing. They have and live in the respective locations that cover different areas. And so they write the articles. Once in a while, I will write an article, especially if it's something that I've done and it's from a firsthand experience. But our team grabs their own footage, and then we have it all compiled for social media. And that's where we hit that line of influencer versus media site, because we have that boots on the ground influencer feel, but then we have the journalistic background of, my background, my team's background of being journalists, and we put it together to really make a fun, SEO friendly, great site plus awesome social media. We mainly are on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook for social media platforms. But now I'm on the business development side. So I have an awesome team who does the editorial and journalistic content.
Thank you. I understand you've given us a bit of your background, but we are curious about your background. Jen, please tell us where you were born, raised, and educated, and how you got into the world of travel and hospitality.
Yeah, well, I grew up in northwestern New Jersey. My parents are originally from Long Island by way of Brooklyn. I went to Lehigh University for undergrad and grad school. My major was psychology with a background in communications. And I was always a traveler. I was always excited. I was in global citizenship as a freshman in college, and we went to Hong Kong the first year, Greece, and then China. So I've always had that travel bug and love to explore, learn about new cultures. My parents are also really big inspirations for that for me.
That's cool. It's good to know. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with Hoboken girl, Jennifer Tripucka, and I hope I got that right.
You did. It's a tough one.
No, we did. Anyway, Jen, how big is you mentioned your family shares your passion for travel. How big is your family?
So it's just me and my brother, but my dad is one of 9. My mom is one of 4. So we have,
Wow.
And my husband's family is one of 7 and 2. So big families. But my parents have been together for 50 years, and they're a really unique bunch. Before they had kids, they sold most of their belongings and they traveled the world for about 8 consecutive years. So they were very ahead of their time. They had kids later in life. They went to almost every continent, and they've always really instilled that love of travel, and I really encouraged it for myself and my brother. And funny enough, my mom is actually leaving for her 7th continent, Antarctica, tomorrow. So we can definitely say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree for me.
What's the secret between balancing time for family and work?
Well, I used to be very bad at this, because when you're growing in a business as an entrepreneur, you really can never disconnect fully. But I do try to do a few things. I delete my social media time suckers of choice, which is usually Instagram for me, from my phone twice a week. I know that some days are really, super balanced, and then some days are not. And then we really carved out a great posting schedule for my team that makes weekends completely free for myself and my team. So we really are a traditional Monday through Friday, and then we have just a few things that go out on the weekends. And then my husband and I and my friends, we actually really integrate sometimes things. They know that the camera eats first with me, meaning we got to take video of this before we eat it, and we've got to make sure we got all the content. But I think at this point, 12 years in, my friends and family definitely understand. But I love to put my phone away, disconnect, unplug, and really be connected. I'm really into self-care and taking time for myself and my family.
That's good.
Anything you'd like to add that we haven't asked you?
No, I mean, you've covered a lot, I will say. I mean, our Local Girl Media courses are really, really great because if anyone is ever interested in just getting deeper into their area of the country or their area, their town, I have a full course. It's a 6-week course that details really how you can start from nothing to, which is what I did, self-funded, 0 investors, and really create your own media site and discover and love where you live. So it's the Local Girl Media Group, coaching.thelocalgirl.com, which is my teaching platform.
How do Travel It's Radio listeners learn more about the Local Girl Media Group and the various towns you cover?
So you can head to similar things, thelocalgirl.com, at the Local Girl HQ on social media, or any of our websites, which is the HobokenGirl.com, the AsburyGirl.com, the MontclairGirl.com, etc. Same for our social media handles. The Hoboken Girl and all of those are pretty much the same, but lots of places to find us. You can always find me at the Jennifer Tripp on most social media platforms. But lots of fun. We have a great team. I couldn't do anything that we do without my awesome team. So so grateful for that, and I really appreciate the being here.
We love having you. Our guest tonight has been Jennifer Tripucka, founder of the Local Girl Media Group. Thank you for being our guest on Travel It's Radio.
Thank you so much for having me.
And with just a month left before pitchers and catchers report, now is the perfect time to extend the offseason with my book, Baseball's Memorable Misses, an unabashed look at the game's craziest zeros. Get it tonight from Amazon. And that's it for this edition of Travel It's Radio. Now, this is Dan Schlossberg, along with Roger Noriega, our producer and wingman, saying thank you for your time this time. Until next time, to our loyal listeners and their families. Next week, we'll talk to Vaughn Williams, Chief Marketing Officer of New Jersey Transit, which has a terminus in Hoboken. For now, good night and stay safe.